Imagine this. You're holding a simple dime in your hand. A coin so ordinary, so small, that most people wouldn't even look at it twice. But what if I told you that hidden inside this tiny circle of silver, there could be a treasure so powerful, so unbelievably valuable, that it could change your entire life overnight? Yes, I'm talking about a single dime, worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but a fortune so massive collectors from across the world fight to get their hands on it. These aren't fairy tales, and this isn't fiction. This is the real world of ultra-rare American dimes, coins that have defied time, survived decades, and now stand as symbols of wealth, history, and unimaginable rarity. Today, inside this video, we're diving deep into 4 of the rarest and most expensive dimes ever discovered in US history. 2 from the Roosevelt series and 2 from the legendary Mercury series, each one carrying a story of power, mystery, and a value that will shock you beyond imagination. Stay with me till the end, because the last dime we're going to reveal is so mind-blowingly rare, so astronomically valuable, that it is no less than a treasure chest sitting in your pocket. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. The most faithful and trustworthy place on YouTube where you'll always find fresh, newly updated and powerful coin values every single day. So, buckle up, because what you're about to see will leave you speechless. Now let's begin with our first treasure. Coin 1. The year was 1951. America was still healing from the echoes of World War II, and the Roosevelt dime, freshly introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, was quickly becoming a symbol of strength, recovery, and unity. But hidden within this year's mintage, struck at the Denver Mint, lies one of the most fascinating rarities in the entire Roosevelt series, the 1951 D Roosevelt dime. On the surface, this dime may look ordinary, composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing just 2.5 grams, with a reeded edge that most people would overlook. But the story behind it and its rarity today is nothing short of extraordinary. The 1951 D was produced in significant numbers, but finding one today in very fine condition, untouched by heavy circulation, with its details still sharp and its luster still breathing life, is like striking gold in the middle of a desert. Now let's talk about its unique features. The Denver Mint mark, the bold D placed delicately near the torch on the reverse side, is what sets this coin apart. Collectors know that coins from Denver in the early 1950s faced immense challenges: lower survival rates, heavy use in commerce, and less care in preservation. Most dimes from this era were spent, worn down, and eventually melted. That's why locating one in such condition today feels like stumbling upon a secret vault from the past. But here's where it gets truly thrilling. The rarity of this 1951 D Roosevelt dime in very fine condition has skyrocketed, turning it into a magnet for high-profile collectors and auction houses. Demand is relentless, and supply is nearly non-existent. That's the perfect formula for explosive value. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. In today's auction market, this very coin, the 1951 D Roosevelt dime in very fine condition, carries a current price of an astonishing $175,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A simple dime that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the street could very well be worth a life-changing treasure. This isn't hype. This isn't imagination. This is the reality of the coin world, where rarity, history, and collector passion converge into unimaginable fortune. Prices for this dime are rising day by day, and experts believe we're only seeing the beginning of its growth. So if you ever come across one of these beauties, treat it like you've just found a hidden treasure chest, because that's exactly what it is. For collectors, here's my tip. Always examine your Roosevelt dimes from the early 50s carefully. Look for strong details, original luster, and of course, the Denver Mint mark. Never underestimate what may be sitting quietly in your coin jar, because the next great treasure could be right in front of you. And with that, we close the chapter on the legendary 1951 Roosevelt dime. A coin that proves even the smallest piece of silver can hold the power of a fortune. But don't go anywhere, because the next dime on our list is even more exciting, even more mysterious, and its story will leave you stunned. Next up. Now, let's move forward through the timeline, from the early 1950s all the way to the late 1980s, a year that most people would never associate with hidden treasure. 1988, the world was buzzing with change. The Cold War was nearing its end. The U.S. economy was growing, and in the everyday pockets of millions of Americans, the Roosevelt dime was still circulating quietly, doing its job as simple change. But what if I told you that among those countless 1988 dimes struck at the Denver Mint lies a piece so rare, so unusual, that it has turned the heads of even the most experienced collectors? Yes, we are talking about the 1988 Roosevelt dime with a mysterious reverse side green spot. A dime that has transformed from being an ordinary coin to a legend in the auction world. At first glance, the coin seems simple, composed of the modern copper-nickel-clad design, bearing the proud torch, olive branch, and oak branch on its reverse, a symbol of liberty, peace, and strength. But here's the twist. The unique green spot on the reverse side makes this particular 1988 dime stand apart. Some argue it's the result of an unusual minting reaction, while others believe it could be the product of chemical exposure that, by some miracle, preserved the coin's rarity rather than destroying it. Collectors know one thing for certain: this isn't just damage. It's a marker, a distinguishing characteristic that has made this dime one of the most sought-after modern rarities. While most 1988 dimes were produced in the hundreds of millions and spent down to nothingness, this one coin in circulated condition, with its distinct reverse green spot, has become a living treasure. And here's where the shockwave hits. The demand for this coin has exploded. Auction houses are buzzing, private collectors are competing fiercely, and the value of this coin has reached heights that no ordinary person would ever believe. Today, the 1988 Roosevelt dime with the reverse side green spot, even in circulated condition, carries a jaw-dropping current market price of $114,500. Yes, you heard that correctly. A modern dime, a coin that most people would toss into a soda machine or leave forgotten at the bottom of a drawer, is now worth more than a treasure chest of silver. This is not a dream. This is the reality of the coin world, where the rarest survivors, even from modern times, can transform into life-changing fortunes. And the most powerful part? Its value is climbing. Every single day, demand grows higher and higher. Collectors know that once a rarity like this is in private hands, it rarely resurfaces. That scarcity is what fuels the fire, and that's why this coin has become a magnet of wealth. If you hold one, you're holding a piece of history that is only going to grow more valuable as time passes. Here's my advice for collectors. Never ignore circulated coins. Many people believe that only shiny, mint-condition coins carry value, but this dime proves otherwise. Always check your pocket change. Always inspect the reverse side. And if you ever see a suspicious mark, like this green spot, don't dismiss it. That flaw could be the very reason your coin is worth a fortune. So as we close the chapter on the 1988 Roosevelt dime with its mysterious reverse mark, let it sink in. Treasures aren't always found in the past. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight, even in the coins you used to spend every day. Next up, now, my friends, we step back in time to one of the most beloved and iconic coin designs in US history, the Mercury dime. When you hold a Mercury dime in your hand, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a piece of living art, a symbol of America's strength during one of the most defining eras of the 20th century. The year was 1943. The world was at war. American soldiers were stationed across Europe and the Pacific, and back home, families were making sacrifices every single day. Coins like the Mercury dime were more than money. They were a reminder of liberty, courage, and hope. The Mercury dime itself was first minted in 1916 and designed by the brilliant sculptor Adolf A. Weinman. The obverse carries the striking image of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, which is how the coin got its popular name. The reverse shows a fasces, symbolizing strength and unity, wrapped with an olive branch for peace. Together, it told the world, America was strong, and America was fair. Now let's talk about this specific rarity, the 1943 Mercury dime without a mint mark, with its mysterious gray shade in fine condition. The absence of a mint mark means this beauty was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced millions of coins. But here's the twist. Despite high mintage numbers, finding one that has survived in fine condition, with its unique gray tones still preserved, is astonishingly rare. Why is that? Because coins from 1943 were heavily circulated during wartime. They bought groceries, fuel, and rationed goods. They passed through countless hands, and many were eventually melted down or lost. The survival rate of such coins in collectible fine condition is shockingly low, and that scarcity is exactly what makes this piece so incredibly valuable. Collectors around the world know the Mercury dime is already one of the most artistic and desirable US coins ever created. But when you add the layer of rarity, condition, and its gray shade that adds character and authenticity, the result is pure treasure. And now for the moment that will leave you stunned. The 1943 Mercury dime without a mint mark, in fine condition, with that gray shade of age and history, currently carries a jaw-dropping market value of $183,000. Yes, $183,000 for a coin you could have easily found in circulation decades ago. A fortune so powerful, so surreal that it proves once again, sometimes the smallest treasures hold the greatest wealth. This is no exaggeration. Auction houses have confirmed it. Collectors are fighting to get their hands on it, and the price continues to climb with each passing day. This isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule from World War II, a survivor of history, and a fortune in silver that will only grow in value as time marches forward. Here's my tip for collectors. Always pay close attention to Mercury dimes. Look for the year, the mint mark, or in this case, the absence of one, and don't overlook the natural toning. That gray shade is more than just a color. It's a badge of survival, proof of authenticity, and often the very trait that makes collectors crave it even more. So when you look at the 1943 Mercury dime with no mint mark, think of it not just as a coin, but as a rare treasure chest from the 1940s, one that has survived the fires of war, the hands of history, and the test of time to emerge today as a six-figure masterpiece. And if you think that is shocking, stay tuned, because the final coin on our list, coin number 4, is a Mercury dime so rare, so staggeringly valuable, that it will completely redefine what you thought possible for a dime's worth. Next up, and now, my friends, we come to the crown jewel of today's treasure hunt. A coin so rare, so breathtaking, that even speaking its name commands respect among collectors. This is not just a dime. This is history. This is wealth. This is the kind of coin that transforms a simple collector into the owner of a true fortune. We're talking about the 1918 Mercury dime without a mint mark, in very good condition. A coin that carries with it not only the artistry of its design, but the living spirit of an America just stepping out of World War I and into a new era. Picture the year 1918. The world had just seen the end of the Great War. The Spanish flu was sweeping across nations, and the United States was entering the roaring 20s. Coins were not just money, they were lifelines. They passed through the hands of soldiers returning home, farmers, shopkeepers, mothers feeding families, and dreamers who believed in a brighter tomorrow. And among them was this very dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, was already a masterpiece. Lady Liberty in her winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, with the fasces and olive branch on the reverse, declaring America's strength balanced with peace. But the 1918 issue holds a special aura. Why? Because survival rates of coins from this year, especially without mint marks and in very good condition, are staggeringly low. Most were worn down, melted for silver, or lost forever in the currents of time. But here's what makes this coin even more extraordinary: its beautiful look. Even in very good condition, this Mercury dime shines with an elegance that collectors crave. The details still visible, the artistry still alive, and the presence so powerful that it feels like holding a century-old treasure chest in your palm. And now comes the thunder. Today, in the modern auction market, this 1918 Mercury dime without a mint mark, in very good condition, commands a current market value of an astonishing $215,000. Yes, over $215,000 for a dime. This isn't a story. This isn't fiction. This is reality, confirmed by collectors, driven by demand, and fueled by the undeniable rarity of this coin. It's not less than a hidden treasure unearthed from history, a fortune sealed in silver. And the best part, its value is not standing still. Day by day, week by week, year by year, the price climbs higher. Experts know that once treasures like this disappear into private collections, they rarely resurface. And when they do, their prices are even more unimaginable. Holding this coin is not just owning a piece of silver, it's owning a key to wealth that grows stronger with time. So here's my tip for collectors. Never ignore the early Mercury dimes. Check every single date. Pay attention to the 1910s. And above all, never underestimate coins in very good condition. Sometimes, those are the ones that survive with the most authenticity, carrying the scars of history and the beauty of survival. And as we close with this magnificent 1918 Mercury dime, remember this: you are not just learning about coins. You are witnessing living treasures, pieces of history that are more valuable than gold, more powerful than jewels, and more shocking than anyone could ever imagine for a simple dime. So there you have it, 4 of the most extraordinary treasures in U.S. coinage history. From the 1951 D Roosevelt dime worth $175,000 to the mysterious 1988 D dime with its green reverse mark at $140,000 and $500 to the legendary 1943 Mercury dime with no mint mark worth $183,000, and finally the breathtaking 1918 Mercury dime, a masterpiece valued today at $215,000. These coins prove one undeniable truth. Treasures can hide in the smallest places. A simple dime, the kind you once ignored in your change, could actually be a fortune waiting to be discovered. And here at True Coin Value, I promise you the truth, the latest updates, and the most faithful insights into the coin world every single day. Because this isn't just about coins, it's about history, wealth, and discovery. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to True Coin Value, and hit that notification bell, because tomorrow we might uncover another hidden treasure that could be sitting right in your pocket at this very moment. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. Stay faithful, stay curious, and remember, in the world of coins, even the smallest treasure can hold the biggest fortune.